She left her clothes outside overnight. What came for her will shock you. That night, the wind did not sound normal. It did not whistle like it always did. It did not move like a gentle breeze. It sounded like someone breathing. Slow. Deep. Patient. Amora woke up suddenly. Her heart was beating fast. She did not know why. The room was dark. The power had gone out hours ago. The only light came from the moon outside her window. Then she heard it. Flap. 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 Her clothes. She had washed them that evening and left them outside on the line behind the house. The wind was moving them. Or so she thought. She turned to the other side of her bed and tried to sleep again. Then she heard something else. Footsteps. Soft. Dragging. Like someone walking slowly on sand. Her throat went dry. Their house was fenced. The gate was locked. Her father always checked twice before sleeping. So who was walking outside? Flap. 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 The clothes were moving again. This time, the wind had stopped. The night was quiet. Too quiet. Amora slowly stood up. Her bare feet touched the cold floor. She moved toward the window. Her hands were shaking. She pushed the curtain aside. At first, she saw nothing. Then she saw it. Something was standing near the clothesline. Tall. Too tall. Its head almost touched the mango tree branches. It was thin. Very thin. Like dry sticks tied together. It was not moving. It was just standing there. Watching. The clothes on the line were not blowing anymore. They were stretching. Stretching toward it. As if they wanted to touch it. Amora covered her mouth so she would not scream. The thing slowly raised one long arm. And touched her white nightgown. The same one she had worn last week. The moment it touched the cloth, the nightgown dropped from the line. The thing bent down slowly and picked it up. Then it lifted its head. Amora saw its face. It had no eyes. Only deep dark holes. And its mouth was too wide. Too wide for its face. It sniffed the gown. Long. Slow. Like it was breathing her in. Amora stepped back from the window. Her heart was pounding so loud she felt it would wake her parents. She wanted to run. But her legs felt weak. Outside, the thing began to move. It walked along the clothesline. Touching each cloth. Sniffing. Choosing. When it reached her father's shirt, it ignored it. When it reached her mother's wrapper, it ignored it. But when it touched her clothes, it smiled. That wide, terrible smile. Then suddenly, it turned its head toward the window. Toward her. It knew she was watching. Amora dropped to the floor. Her breath came in short gasps. She did not hear footsteps. She did not hear the gate open. But she heard something else. A whisper. Right behind her window. "Thank you." The voice was dry. Like dead leaves rubbing together. Amora stayed on the floor until morning. When the sun finally rose, she ran outside. 3 of her clothes were gone. Only hers. No one else's. Her mother scolded her. "You should have packed them before dark," she said. "Night is not for clothes." Amora wanted to tell them what she saw. But when she tried to speak, her voice would not come out. That night, she slept without a sound. But the wind was waiting. After that night, things changed. Amora stopped leaving her clothes outside. She packed them before sunset. Every day. Even if they were still wet. But something was wrong. She could feel it. At school, her friend Kemi looked pale. "You did not hear?" Kemi whispered. "Hear what?" Amora asked. Kemi from the next street. The younger one. Amora frowned. What about her? She fell sick. Sick how? Kemi lowered her voice. They say she keeps talking in her sleep. Calling something. And her clothes, her mother said some are missing. Amora's stomach tightened. Missing. Yes. The ones she left outside overnight. A cold feeling ran down Amora's spine. That evening, she went to see the sick girl. The compound was quiet. Too quiet. Even the chickens were silent. Because the thing had already learned her scent. And now, it did not need her clothes. The sickness began spreading. 3 girls. Then 5. All the same story. Clothes left outside overnight. Clothes missing. Then whispers at night. Then fever. Then laughter. The elders gathered under the big Iroko tree. They spoke in low tones. An old woman finally stood up. Her name was Mama Ineola. Her voice was calm but heavy. It is the Olorie, she said. The cloth worker. The younger ones looked confused. She continued. It moves at night. It searches for scent. It takes clothes worn close to the body. It learns the owner's breath, their sweat, their fear. What does it want? Someone asked. Mama Ineola's eyes were dark. It wants to become human again. Silence fell. It wears the clothes, she said softly. Then it begins to wear the person. Amora felt cold. What happens if it succeeds? She asked. The old woman looked at her. It takes your place. That night, the village did not sleep. Fires were lit outside every house. Clothes were packed early. Windows were shut tight. Amora lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She felt watched. Even with the fire burning outside. Then she heard something inside the room. Not outside. Inside. Breathing. Slow. Deep. She turned her head slowly toward her mirror. And she froze. She was still lying in bed. But something else was standing near the door. It looked like her. Same hair. Same height. Same face. But the smile was too wide. Too dry. Its skin looked loose. Like clothes that did not fit well. You kept the clothes inside, it said softly. So I came for you instead. Amora tried to scream. But no sound came out. The thing stepped closer. Each step made a soft dragging sound. You left your scent in many places, it whispered. On your bed. On your comb. On your pillow. It reached out its hand. Long fingers. Cold. You cannot hide your scent. The fire outside suddenly went out. Darkness filled the room. But the sky was clear. Amora lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling. She kept thinking about the tall figure. The wide smile. The empty eye holes. And the way it sniffed her clothes. She covered herself with her blanket. Then she heard it. Not outside. Inside. A soft sound. Like fabric dragging across the floor. Her heart stopped. She slowly turned her head toward the corner of her room. Her school uniform. It was hanging behind the door. But it was moving. Gently. Like someone had touched it. There was no wind. The window was closed. The door was locked. Still, the uniform moved again. Back and forth. Back and forth. Amora sat up slowly. Her breath became slow and quiet. She stared at it. Then she saw something behind it. A shadow. Tall. Very tall. It was standing between the wall and the uniform. But that space was too small for a person. The shadow bent its head slowly. As if looking at her. The uniform lifted slightly. Like invisible fingers were holding it. Then the whisper came. You hid them well. The voice was dry. Close. Too close. Amora jumped out of bed and ran toward the door. But before she reached it, the uniform fell to the ground. The shadow disappeared. The room became silent again. She stood there, shaking. Then she heard footsteps outside her door. Her father's voice. Amora. Why are you awake? She quickly opened the door. He looked tired. You were talking, he said. I heard you whispering. Her throat went dry. I wasn't talking, she said softly. Her father frowned. You said something like, don't wear me. Amora felt cold all over. Because she did not say those words. The next morning, news came. Another girl had fallen sick. This time, it was busy from the other end of the village. Same story. Clothes left outside overnight. Clothes missing. Then fever. Then strange talking in her sleep. The elders called a meeting again. The old woman, Mama Iniola, spoke slowly. It is learning, she said. It is no longer waiting outside. The men looked confused. What do you mean? One asked. Mama Iniola's eyes were serious. It does not only take clothes now. It takes scent from air. Silence. When you wear clothes outside after sunset, she continued, your sweat carries your breath. The night wind carries it to places you cannot see. Amora swallowed. What does it do with the scent? She asked. Mama Iniola looked at her directly. It builds your shape. The air felt heavy. It cannot become human fully, she said. But it can copy. It copies voice. It copies movement. It copies laughter. A woman gasped. You mean it can look like us? Mama Iniola nodded slowly. Yes. That evening, Amora returned from the market alone. The sky was already turning dark. She walked fast. She did not like the road when it was quiet. Halfway home, she heard footsteps behind her. Slow. Dragging. She did not turn. She walked faster. The footsteps walked faster. Her heart began to race. She turned quickly. Nobody. The road was empty. Only dry leaves moving across the ground. She continued walking. Then she heard it. Her own voice. Calling her name. Amora. She froze. The voice came from behind the big mango tree. Soft. Gentle. Exactly like her voice. Amora, wait. Her body felt weak. She slowly looked toward the tree. And she saw someone step out. It was her. Same hair. Same dress. Same sandals. The other Amora smiled. But the smile was too wide. Too stretched. The eyes were dark. Empty. You walk too fast, it said. Her voice. But wrong. Amora stepped back slowly. No, she whispered. The thing tilted its head. Why are you afraid of yourself? Her legs felt weak. It stepped closer. Its feet did not touch the ground properly. They dragged. Like cloth on sand. You left your scent, it whispered. I only followed it. Amora turned and ran. She did not look back. She ran until she reached her house. She slammed the gate shut. Her parents came outside. What happened? Her mother asked. Amora looked back at the road. Empty. Nothing there. But in the distance, she saw someone standing under the mango tree. Watching. Still. Waiting. That night, she could not sleep. She kept thinking. If it could copy her. If it could sound like her. What if one day it entered the house? What if her parents could not tell the difference? She covered her ears. But sleep finally came. And with it, a dream. She was standing outside her house. The clothesline was full. All her clothes were there. even the ones that were missing. They were swaying gently. Then she noticed something strange. The clothes were not empty. They had shapes inside them, like invisible bodies were wearing them. The sleeves moved. The legs stepped forward. One by one, the clothes stepped off the line, walking toward her. Her white nightgown, her school uniform, her blue blouse. All walking. All empty. But moving. Then they began to feel. Skin formed under the fabric. Faces pushed outward. Eyes opened. Mouth stretched wide. All of them had her face. All smiling. All whispering together. "We are almost ready." Amora woke up screaming. Her mother rushed in. But when the light was turned on, something was wrong. Her school uniform was gone. The one she folded carefully and kept inside her box. The box was still locked. But the uniform was missing. And on the floor, there was a trail. A thin line of sand. Leading to the window, which was still closed. Outside, under the moonlight, a tall thin figure stood silently, wearing a school uniform. It adjusted the collar slowly, tilted its head, and practiced speaking. "Good morning, Mama." It smiled wider. "No, softer." It tried again. "Good morning, Mama." Its voice was almost perfect now. Almost human. And tomorrow morning, it was planning to knock on the door. The rooster crowed early that morning. But Amara was already awake. She had not slept again. Her eyes were red. Her body was weak. But her mind was alert. Because she knew something was coming. She could feel it. Outside, the sky was pale blue. Morning light slowly entered her room. Her mother was in the kitchen. Her father was sweeping the compound. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Then, knock. 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 3 slow knocks on the wooden door. Her father stopped sweeping. "Who is there?" he called out. A soft voice answered. "Good morning, sir." Amora froze. It was her voice. Calm. Polite. Exactly like hers. Her father frowned. "Amora, why are you outside?" he asked. Her heart jumped into her throat. She ran out of her room. "Daddy." "Don't open it," she shouted. Her father looked confused. "You are here," he said slowly. "Knock. Knock. Knock." The voice came again. "Daddy, please open the door." Her mother stepped out of the kitchen. Her face went pale. Because the voice outside sounded exactly like their daughter. Amora grabbed her father's arm. "That is not me," she whispered. Silence fell over the compound. Then the voice outside changed. The sweetness disappeared. It became dry. Cracked. "You are making this hard," it said. The door handle began to shake slowly. Back and forth. Back and forth. Her father stepped away from the door. The handle stopped moving. Then came scratching. Long nails dragging downward. Screech. Amora covered her ears. Her mother began to pray loudly. Suddenly, the scratching stopped. Everything became quiet again. Too quiet. They waited. No sound. Her father slowly moved toward the window beside the door. He carefully pushed the curtain aside. Then he stepped back quickly. His face had lost color. "It is wearing your uniform," he whispered. Amora felt tears fill her eyes. Her stolen school uniform. She moved closer and looked through the small space. And she saw it. It stood at the door, wearing her uniform. But it did not fit properly. The sleeves were too long. The neck was stretched. Its legs were thin like sticks. Its face was hers. But wrong. The eyes were dark holes. The smile too wide. It tilted its head slowly, as if it could see her through the wall. Then it spoke again. "You belong outside." Its body began to shake, twisting, stretching. The skin around its face moved like loose cloth. It pressed its hands against the door. The wood began to crack. Mama Iniola's words echoed in Amora's mind. "It follows scent. It builds your shape. It wants to take your place." Her eyes moved quickly around the room. Then she remembered something. Her grandmother once told her that strong scent can confuse spirits. Palm oil, pepper, smoke. She ran to the kitchen. She grabbed dried pepper, palm oil, charcoal from the stove. Her mother stared at her. "What are you doing?" "No time," Amora shouted. The door cracked loudly. One wooden plank broke. Long thin fingers pushed through, reaching, searching. Amora mixed the pepper and palm oil quickly. She poured it into the burning charcoal. Thick smoke rose instantly. Hot, sharp. Her eyes burned. She ran toward the door. Her father stepped aside. The fingers were now inside. Long, black, moving like worms. Amora took a deep breath. Then she threw the burning mixture at the door. The smoke hit the fingers. A loud scream filled the air. Not human. Not animal. Something worse. The fingers pulled back quickly. Outside, the thing began to twist violently. Its voice broke into many voices at once. Children, women, old men, all crying together. "You hide your scent. You burn your scent. You deny me." The uniform on its body began to catch fire from the smoke. It tried to remove it, but the cloth stuck to its skin. It screamed again. The sound made birds fly from trees. The ground seemed to shake. Its face began to melt. The copy of Amora's face tore apart like wet paper. Underneath, there was nothing solid. Only darkness moving, like smoke trapped inside skin. It stumbled backward, its long body shrinking, twisting, falling apart. "You cannot hide forever," it whispered weakly. Then it collapsed into the ground and disappeared. Only the burnt uniform remained, half turned to ash. Silence returned. The air felt lighter. The sun rose fully over the village. People slowly came out of their houses. They had heard the scream. Mama Inola arrived, walking slowly with her staff. She looked at the burnt cloth, then at Amora. "You were brave," she said quietly. "Did it die?" someone asked. Mama Inola shook her head slowly. "No." A chill passed through everyone. "These things do not die easily," she continued. "They only retreat." She looked at the sky. "It will wait." Weeks passed. No more sickness. No more missing clothes. No whispers at night. Life slowly returned to normal. But one thing changed forever. No one in the village left clothes outside overnight again. Not even for a minute after sunset. Even visitors were warned. Pack your clothes before dark. Children were taught early. Night wind carries more than air. Amora tried to forget. She returned to school. She laughed again. She slept better. But sometimes, very late at night, when the wind is quiet, when the air feels heavy, she wakes up suddenly, with the feeling that someone is smelling the air, searching, waiting. And last week, as she was bringing her clothes inside before sunset, she noticed something. On the sand near the clothesline, there were long dragging marks, fresh, leading toward the bush. And beside them, a single footprint, thin, too long, facing her house. She packed the clothes quickly, closed the door, locked every window. Because she now knows the truth. Clothes carry scent. Scent carries you. And somewhere in the dark, something is still learning, still waiting for the day someone forgets and leaves their clothes outside overnight. So before you sleep tonight, check your door, check your window, and most importantly, check your clothesline. For more chilling African horror stories, like, share, and subscribe to Queen Esthy Tales, and tell me, would you dare step outside after midnight?